Success for a lot of people is money, and for me, partly it's money too, because people buying my artwork would mean success is weird because people think there's only one definition for it. Like they say, a successful businessman, you know, successful artist means they've sold something, or they've sold a lot of somethings. And that's partly what it would be for me. But it's weird, like, the passage of time, you know? Because today I could be considered successful. I've already succeeded at making this piece of artwork, and I've made it a lot of others. I look at myself and I see something very familiar but also distant, you know. That is my face. And I was thinking this the other day. Is our identity just what we like? I like good stories, and I like cool things, you know? Is that my identity, liking those things? Or are those things my identity? Or am I what I do for others? Is my identity how I speak? I mean, it's all those things, yeah. The scary thing is that changes, though. You know, you're not the same person 7 years from now that you were. I mean, obviously you're gonna be different in 7 years. What's the saying? Every 7 years, every cell in your body has been replaced. Tomorrow, I will be a different person than I am today, and yesterday I was a different person. By a factor of 0.0001%, you know? And some people change faster than others. I've kind of learned that firsthand through my experiences in life, that some people do change slower or faster. Not all change is good change, though. Not all change is good change. It's an example of bad change. Giving up. Some people just give up on their dreams, you know? And it's so sad to see that, you know? Some people just give up and scroll TikTok for as long as they can, and just to not have to think about the fact that they did give up. And you do that every single day. I find myself sometimes walking out of a situation where my identity wasn't expressed the way I wanted it to have been. Like right now. I'm expressing my identity very clearly and very directly right now. You know? But at times that's hard, because there's a lot of people in the room, a lot of new people around you, a lot of judgmental people around you. Sometimes it's hard, you know? And I find myself walking out of an experience like that, thinking, I give up. Or I should give up. I should just stop trying to be social, or, not social. Stop trying to go to school, you know? Give up on when you know, when I was a kid, or I am a kid, when I was not that much of a kid anymore. in my freshman and sophomore and partway into my junior, every semester of high school except for the second semester of senior year, give up would have meant suicide. Would have meant, I don't know. That's the thing for somebody who feels misunderstood. Is suicide is a tool, an opponent, like in a boxing match, an opponent, you know. And the punches they throw at you is the desire to have your artwork be seen, you know, and to get out there, you know. If someone dies and they made art and they committed suicide, it's, you know, Kurt Cobain, it gets more popular, you know. But the reason I'm saying that is because that's how it is for a lot of artists and not all artists struggle with depression. Not all of them do, but a big number of them do. Because art is more appealing to people who are smarter, and people who are smarter often, their brain runs faster and more thoroughly, and since it's in human nature to see the negative part of life, we used to sit around the campfire and in the Paleolithic era and think, how will I fix my rumbling stomach? How will I make sure my wife doesn't die in childbirth? How will I, you know, fix, you know? And now there's not much to be fixed in the modern day. So people who are smarter realize that, or not even realize that phenomenon happens to them. They think about the negative all the time, because a good human brain in the eyes of the Paleolithic era is thinking about the negative all the time. And they have a good human brain in the eyes of the Paleolithic era. What was I talking about originally? Oh. Giving up. Socially or outwardly presentingly. I know that won't make much sense, but giving up on presenting yourself outwards. It's very hard to describe if you've never struggled with depression. Well, what about it? Well, for most of my high school experience, I was that way. At least, no, I'm for most of it. But some people they feel that way too often to withstand it. They feel like they should give up too often to withstand it, and maybe in some people that leads to suicide, and in others it leads to like reclusion, like recluding away from your own identity, because I wonder if they're just stupid. I wonder if, you know, those people who scroll on their phones all day long are just stupid. They're probably not. Probably just really, really in need of a distraction. And that makes me think about it differently. They don't have a purpose. In a sense, I'm extremely lucky to have this, to have a purpose. This is what I was put on the earth to do. This writing, aura farming. I like that term, aura farming. I think about it a lot. kind of a good it's kind of a good word to describe something, because there's no guilt around it, you know. It's the word for being as tied into your identity as you can be. That's a hard thing. That is a hard thing to do. It's hard to order farm. Is it selfish? Is it selfish to want to be perceived the way you want to be perceived? Is it selfish to want to be perceived as cool? I don't think so. I think it's brave. If you do it in moderation. Right now, kind of the only thing keeping me afloat. Well, no. I have other endeavors. I have I'm working a lot to save up money to get a car, to put a down payment on a car. But right now, I'd say my grandest endeavor in life is this, and it probably will always be. And it's keeping me afloat. Because I want it so damn bad. I want my art to reach as many people as humanly possible that I can achieve in my lifetime. And I know I was just talking about suicide and how some people with depression turn to suicide, and that was definitely a big part of my life when I was in high school, was thinking about suicide as a way to do that, you know. But the truth is, it's kind of a gamble. Either way, if you're alive or you're dead, it's a gamble whether or not your art will succeed. And the thing is, if you're dead, you'll never know. I grew up on stuff like this, on science fiction, on science. I loved science growing up. Not like number science, but like Bill Nye science, you know, if that makes sense. So this is an integral part of my identity, this artwork, because it is, in a right-brained way of saying it, right angles is math and science. Curves are art and music. Everybody who commented on my other video, the one that's doing decently well, I just want to say thank you to them. You know, that one won the lottery, the algorithm lottery, you know, which is what I'm trying to win. Just buy as many tickets as I can, you know, to win the lottery. The successfulness of the lottery. It validates me in the sense that people want to hear what I have to say, because I've always known that. That's why I'm drawn to art. This says something. This says I care so much. This says every little step is intentional and loving. That could be the title of this artwork, you know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm grateful for where I am. I have a long way to go, but I've come a long way. I definitely have. And I definitely have a long way to go.